All over Europe, 12 amateur and professional photographers have been selected to compete in an extraordinary photographic contest. 8 weeks, 8 completely different photographic challenges.
Can I come back tomorrow?
It's been a disaster.
They'll have to give it their best shot to impress the judges. Oliviero Toscani, acclaimed and controversial photographer from Italy.
I've seen too many of these photographic masturbation.
Caroline Hunter, Guardian Weekend magazine picture editor from the UK.
So much doesn't really engage me.
Darcy Padilla, American documentary photographer specializing in contemporary issues.
That's why you didn't do it, because you don't know.
Only one photographer will win the life-changing prize of 150,000 euros.
I took that picture, mate.
Sorry. Much harder than I expected.
Who will be the next Sky Arts Master of Photography?
Wow, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Photographers, I hope you're all feeling fit, because for the next task, you'll need a good pair of shoes and a lot of energy. We have chosen a city I really love, London. This week, London hosts one of the biggest fashion events of the year, London Fashion Week. This event attracts thousands of visitors. Your task is to convey in 3 pictures the style, colour and energy of this event in these very special days.
Fashion is going to be in the streets. This isn't just a time to take photographs, but really explore the environment of Fashion Week and really explore the people that you'll be interacting with.
A good street photograph has the power to connect you to reality, but it can also disconnect you at the same time. And this is what makes it so special. Conwell, what do you think about the task?
I really find it cool, but I never took pictures during fashion weeks. But I always wish to do it, so I'm so excited.
Max?
I went to the London Fashion Week last summer to shoot street style, and I really enjoyed it.
Suvid?
Don't usually shoot in London because it's like my safe zone. So I'm excited. It should be different.
We're not just asking you to take photos of Fashion Week. Make us feel like we're there.
You will see very interesting character. You cannot come back with banality. I really want to see something outrageous, like neorealismo of fashion. I'm really expecting a lot here. There is an incredible freedom. In the same time, you have to put a lot of your imagination into it. And here is an example of a picture that for sure can help you.
This is a photograph taken by the American photographer Craig Smeckel. This photograph was taken in Berlin in 2001 at the Love Parade. Craig was photographing this man in the background, laying on the ground. And in his peripheral vision, he saw 2 women coming towards him. He waited for the right moment to press the shutter to have this photograph happen.
This is a picture taken by Martin Parr, and he has been doing that since a long time. He goes deep into the society, especially fashion society. They dress like that, but they hide themselves behind big sunglasses. So they want to appear, but they would like to disappear. And Martin Parr will be here when you come back to help you to edit and to criticize you and probably to teach you something.
Your task begins now.
On their laptops, the photographers find a map of central London highlighting the areas where they will be allowed to shoot. This should help them plan ahead and not waste time on the day.
I would love to show the contrast between normal street fashion and over-fashionized people coming just for a fashion week.
Your previous experience is as a fashion photographer. How do you think you'll approach this particular task?
I'll just try to be at the right locations at the right time, and just try to capture the chaos as best as possible.
I'm going to try and choose specific locations and wait for people to come along.
You like working with colour. Do you think you'll use colour to link your pictures?
Yeah, I think I will definitely search for colours in the background and also in the person, what it's wearing for sure.
The 6 contestants left in the competition are in London for one of the biggest fashion events of the year, London Fashion Week. The task is called Street Fashion Photography, and the contestants won't be attending any fashion shows. Instead, they've been asked to produce a series of 3 photographs that best capture their view of the vibe around London Fashion Week. The small area outside the main venue on the Strand has been marked as a safe zone. This is where all the fashionistas will flock to, and all the contestants have decided to start their task here. But what seemed a good bet on paper could turn out to be a bit of a disaster. It's only 9 a.m, but already a small army of photographers have taken up their positions. Will any of our contestants manage to find a new story to tell about such a well-documented industry?
Wow, it's a circus.
All of the noise and the circus around it confused me.
So we have a little problem in so much as all the contestants are sticking to the safe zone, which is obviously the venues. It's exactly what I didn't want. Sorry, pardon my French. But there's, you know, going to be an issue with us all having the same picture.
Gillian is concerned about the restricted area hampering the quality of her work, while Olamp is starting to feel overwhelmed for other reasons.
Yes, this is really, really difficult for me because there's so much happening and I'm also a bit claustrophobic person, so I think I will go for colours again.
For British photographer Gillian, this is not an easy task. She's used to working in a controlled studio environment, and she has no experience shooting fashion.
And I think possibly if we go around the corner and actually getting people coming to the venue and kind of just picking off individuals, it'll probably be a lot more interesting. So we're just going to go down to the tube station now.
While Gillian and Olamp set off to explore the potential of other areas, the rest of the contestants remain at the Strand.
The sexy, right? Which one is the sexiest one for you? Tell me, don't be shy, come on. No, you don't have to. Yeah, which one? Maybe the middle one? The middle one, I thought so.
Sometimes in street photography, the best shots come to the photographers who simply wait for situations to unfold around them. Max has already photographed last year's London Fashion Week.
I've been to the London Fashion Week before. I already knew the location and knew what the surroundings looked like.
And so, out of experience, he decides to play it safe.
I wanted to take portraits and I wanted to have people walk for me, but I also wanted to show the surroundings a bit and other photographers shooting and people interviewing some of the guys. I like to present a good mix of that.
He takes me down deeper than I've ever been before. I'm getting lost.
Nice, man. That's ridiculous. I'm gonna do someone interesting to come up, yeah, maybe. Excuse me, I'm sorry. We're doing a TV show about photography and I was wondering if I could take your picture.
Okay.
That's cool. This is a weird task for me because normally when I'm shooting, I want to take pictures which communicate a particular message about an issue or an individual or a story. Can you just look off that way? That's fine, thanks. With fashion, I've never quite got it.
For the judges, carefully framing each shot is crucial, and Savid is not taking any risks.
There are colors which are surprising and interesting for me, but For a photo editor like Caroline, for a guy who's worked in the fashion industries for decades like Oliviero, I don't know. I wanted to get a detail of her tattoo, but Darcy's going to kill me if she sees that. So let's go back and make sure that everything's in the frame. I'm really sorry. Can I bother you for one last shot? It's the same thing. You can't get out of here. You're too good. Thank you. Yeah. It's amazing. Yeah.
The contestants are in London during Fashion Week, and their task is to shoot street fashion.
Oh, it's enough.
Wojciech is a war reporter, used to a very different kind of chaos.
Fashion can be an art form for me, yeah. It can be like a modern art form, but it's a part of a world I don't know, and that's why it's interesting.
Fashion is not his speciality, but he's taking the task in his stride, adapting his initial ideas and making the most of this new experience.
My first idea was to show the difference between the high fashion, over-fashioned people and the normal people. So I was looking for some situations just to show this.
This guy was really amazing with these pants. They were crazy. Yeah, and just confronted to this beautiful old building. Cool, cool, that was cool, right.
Street portraiture requires the contestants to engage with their subjects and ask permission to photograph them. This can be a daunting task for some.
Maybe I'll have to take you some crazy pictures.
I don't know about time.
While for others, it's a joy.
Hi, can I ask to take a picture of you?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
Really? Okay, thank you. I will start here. Okay, good. Nice, thank you. I'm happy because when I met people who have this nice energy, maybe the pictures are not so great, but I had a great time, so nice.
Staging or not staging a shot is one of the most common dilemmas for street photographers.
I'd like to take like some strange pictures. If I tell you to lay on the floor, do things.
I'll do it.
You do it, really? And come and lay on the floor.
Okay.
Okay.
Whoa, we in the spot and it's like, tell your big stop high.
Okay, guys.
Too many flaggers around. I'm the talk of the town. Yeah, who's coming down?
Do you mind if I take your pictures? Yeah, cool. Are you guys over 18?
Yeah.
You're right, wicked. Can I just get you to sign some consent form? Just inside this place to begin with. If you can take one step in. If you can go there. Let me try one different thing. Just here, just like with your leg up. And you next to him. Yeah, a lot of people using a fixed lens, usually an 85, and then firing away to get the right moment. What I've been trying to do today is take a bit more time. My aim is to try and really get into the textures, into the colors. Just with your left hand, you just point like this. Yeah.
As a reporter, Wojciech does not intend to stage any pictures.
For me, reality is interesting enough. I don't need to create my own reality. I've been using camera with 28 with the situations that are really fast. 2490 I've been using for more like calm situations.
Almost.
You just look that way and just put your glasses on. Yeah. Look a bit more like, you know.
Time is running out and the pressure is mounting. In a confined area packed with photographers and contestants, the situation is becoming volatile.
UK does this, you know. Wojciech, I took that picture, mate.
Sorry. Sorry. Oh, I haven't seen it. Yeah. Good that she doesn't bite me.
Street photography is like quicksand, constantly shifting. For this task, the contestants have had to deal with unpredictable strangers in an uncontrollable situation. How they've managed to engage with their subjects and tell their story will determine how convincing their photographic series will be.
I was wondering if I could take some pictures of you, because you look amazing.
Sure.
You're like looking outside. You're pushing your body out.
To contextualise his series, Cromwell has chosen to include London landmarks in his shots.
Oh, this is cool.
I really like them.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. What I'm trying to do is connecting the fashion with London symbols like telephone cabin, English taxi, and the red bus. I think that's a bit interesting. I would like to take some pictures with you on, but with the underground station.
Yeah, that's fine.
Will you come?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, perfect. Let me try. I want to see the lights. A minute. Can I let you, like, run down the stairs? Go. Does it feel like... Okay. Go.
Max has opted for a documentary style and is hoping to capture the emotions of unguarded moments.
I believe that the image of the girl with the black hat talking to the journalist will be criticized the most by the judges, but I'm willing to take that risk. If I just would have taken a different, maybe stronger portrait, then the story wouldn't have worked. I wouldn't have been able to show different sides of the Fashion Week.
After a slow start, Gillian has finally found her story to tell.
I really hate fashion, if I'm completely honest. The only thing I really liked, really, was the shoes. Would you mind if I photographed your feet?
Yeah, no, go for it.
Okay, don't make them wider. That's it, brilliant. Try this. Sit on the wall, sit on the wall. I'll take a picture, it's probably not one. Not a great deal of point. Fashion, and certainly women are concerned, footwear makes an outfit, and that almost is what makes the outfit individual. And people are wearing the most amazing footwear, I have to say. Beautiful footwear. Right, we're just going to wait for some people to come past, OK? I'm really sorry, 2 more minutes. People, I need to change the lens so I can zoom in on her feet, and people will actually come between her and I. Right. Keep going, everyone. So I was trying to get the idea across of, like, everyday life and what's going on in London Fashion Week.
Suvid has discovered an interesting spot and wants to stage some pictures there.
The sun is pretty good on this poster right now, which I want to use. Anna, stand here.
Yeah.
Look that way.
Yeah.
You have a slightly tougher job. It's a bit awkward. Basically, you're going to be walking this way. Do you have a phone?
I wanted to try and bring other faces within that scene, using their phones perhaps in the same way that you see a lot of people in the area busy, kind of communicating.
Do you have a phone as well? Awesome. Yeah. Just like that. Yeah. Perfect. Cheers, guys.
The contestants have had a taste of how hard London street fashion photography can be.
Stay there, crazy man. Yeah, but you look fabulous. That's it. Come and turn to me. That's it. Come back here.
Olamp, on the other hand, preferred to find a stage and let the action come to her. Her playfulness hard to resist.
I will wait there in the front of the red door and wait again till somebody's coming. Excuse me, can I take a picture of you? Yes. What I look for is for people who will fit with the background that I'm choosing. Red on red, so it disappears, or more for a contrast color. Can you just be in the middle of the... Yeah. Okay. Can I ask you for a picture, like in front of this door, because you have like the red and I like it. No. Stop. Perfect. All right, just one more and then we go. Can I all stop you for a picture?
Can't use always if I want something new. Stay fresh.
All of the contestants had to engage with strangers, hoping to capture a unique take on London Fashion Week.
Excuse me. Oh, sorry.
Stop!
The judges will expect an original and powerful narrative.
I would like you to catch the bus. Oh, wow, that's cool.
Some have decided to play safe, sticking to their own style of photography, while others tried something new.
And I want you to close your eyes.
Now for all of them, the time is up.
Done.
I'm exhausted, I shouted at Wojciech. Oh no! Over.
Will their interpretation of street fashion surprise the judges?
London, task 6.
Back in the studio, the contestants are selecting the pictures that best showcase their take on street fashion during London Fashion Week.
I really like the man with the blue hair because he's acting like a model. He's throwing himself about, he's got lipstick on, and it's just very, very funny.
I need to find the right balance between close-up portraits, and I definitely need to show some of the environment. Otherwise, these pictures could have been shot anywhere.
This is perfect. This is
a wicked shot.
You want to have a look closer?
What happened to it?
It just painted it red. There is one picture that stands out for me, but for the other two pictures, I can't wait for Martin Parr to come and to give me some advice.
In order for them not to agonize too much about selecting the wrong shots, we've enlisted the help of one of Britain's best-known photographers, Martin Parr. Martin Parr was born in the UK in 1952 and studied photography at Manchester Polytechnic. He is best known for his photographic projects, which offer a critical examination of vivid elements of modern life, especially suburban and provincial life in England. He also developed an interest in filmmaking and has started to use his photography in fashion and advertising.
Hi. It's good to be here, and today I'm going to help you in the process of editing. Always a tricky situation to get through. And this is just an onlooker.
Sorry?
An onlooker. Someone passing by.
Yeah, she was like just looking to cross the street.
You know, I don't quite understand why you're going away from the main subject matter and you're doing this passers-by when you don't really see their engagement with the Fashion Week. When you have an assignment like this, the main job is your interpretation of the assignment you're given.
Yeah, of course.
If you don't take the assignment and do something like passers-by, it could be anywhere in London, right?
So
because this guy looks a fashionista. He's a failed fashionista.
Yes.
I like the chaos of it.
We're not seeing as much chaos as I'd like to.
Yeah.
You know, chaos is a very good thing to inject into photographs.
Yeah.
So this, to me, is too simplistic. This, to me, is a sort of no-brainer, if you like.
Yeah.
It's around that you should build your trilogy. The other one to consider is here, because I like this picture. It's got a very surreal feel to it. My inclination is to have those three. Let's get rid of those two. Let's sort of... This needs to be in the middle. This needs to be on the right. That needs to be in the middle. That's better.
Right. Definitely, yeah.
This is absolutely essential. This is about expression, so you've really got to ensure that what you think and feel is echoed in your photographs.
Martin Parr gave me the right sequence, and it shows the contrast between real and fashion world even more.
This is just great because it's weird. Because, you know, that looks like a Photoshop, but for you to have actually seen that, observed it, two people on the phone, we know these people are obsessed with their phone.
My attitude with this assignment was to try and not be too judgmental.
Judgmental? Hang on, listen. Okay. The whole point of this exercise is your opinion, right? So that means judging. Yeah? You're a subjective photographer. You should be judging all the time, right? No, you're addicted to wide angle, aren't you?
Yeah, so...
Yeah? You know, you should think about killing the wide angle a bit. You're relying too much on that ability of the lens to make everything wow like that. Had you been to a fashion event before in London?
No, I don't actually. I'm not remotely interested in fashion at all.
Which ones are you going for?
I think that one.
Yep. I agree with this one, and I agree with this one. The only one I would possibly replace is this one.
Right.
And I would think about looking at, let's just try it as a trilogy. I would think about this one.
Yeah.
The contrast between the fashion people and the person walking by is pretty good. And it's just it's a nice composition.
I think you're the first judge I've agreed with.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, there's something to be celebrating.
I got seduced by his British sureness, I don't know, and I chose a picture that I wouldn't have normally chosen.
OK, so it's good to see your pictures, and I will see you when you present your work later on. Thanks very much.
And finally, the last task, post-production.
For the image of the girl standing in front of the bus, I increased the contrast, I increased the clarity, and I increased the saturation of the reds because I wanted these strong colors.
In the picture of the red legs, I've slightly toned down the vibrancy of the woman's bag in the background, which is also red, because it was just too red.
Post-production, I'm doing something a bit extreme. I changed the color of the jacket in the third picture because I like it how the harmony of the three colors of the three pictures were together.
Time to find out who shot the most convincing street fashion series.
Welcome back, photographers. We hope that you enjoyed spending the day in my favourite city. Did you find it difficult to take pictures with others around? Gillian?
I found the actual venue a little bit frustrating, so what I personally did was I moved slightly away from the venue and looked at the street fashion and the people from the Fashion Week in the street itself.
And for you, Wojciech?
It was a very funny new experience, like joining a fashion circus, especially when you see those people who look like characters from cartoons sometimes.
So we want to see what you saw during your time in London at Fashion Week.
Max, please.
So, hello again. So I chose to present three different sides of the Fashion Week. So the first picture on the left, you see a model or blogger that's there to be seen and to be noticed, to be photographed. Then you see one of the protests that happened. And the third picture is another subject in conversation with a journalist.
It's good that you thought a lot about where you are and a good sense of time where we are in terms of current affairs. So the news element is good too.
But unfortunately, the photos fall apart. The protest image, it's got a strange tilt. You have this blurred out of focus stuff to the right, and you cut into these words, and the big face mask thing going into the man's shoulder does nothing to help you out. That actually had potential. And then the last one, you're using the journalist to frame the model, but it's possibly the most uninteresting part because of the way you cut the journalist's head and body and camera.
I just wanted to include this to show this part of Fashion Week, the journalist side of Fashion Week.
You want to tell a story, but then you have to make a story that is understandable and readable and that gives a certain emotion.
I think you should have identified this protest idea is something you need to explore further. when you're there in the scene, you've got to identify the actual approach which is working and then follow up that at the time rather than later when you're editing.
Yeah.
OK, thanks.
If I would have presented 3 pictures of the protest, I think they would have said that there's no fashion about it or nothing London about it. So I think they would have criticized it either way.
Alom, we are ready to see your photos.
I went first to the main venue, and it was really chaotic for me. So I decided to go more for showing the fashion in the streets.
The image that stands out the most is the one in the middle. The red background works well with the black clothing, and then you have the kind of graphic, symmetry of the fire exit.
I like the central portrait as well, but I feel you didn't come in close enough. I mean, the real thing about that picture that makes it is that look the guy is giving you. It's one of slightly distrust, it's not a bit uneasy. That inherent tension is absolutely integral to the picture. Could have even been better with a slightly tighter composition.
Okay. I actually really want to try this, and I tried going closer, but there's this thing in me which it doesn't feel right when I go closer.
Well, that's okay. It never feels right, and that's there so that...
I think I need to go over this.
It never feels right. All of us feel that same thing as photographers. It makes us check ourselves so that we're doing a proper thing, that we're acting as respectful as possible. That's what that's about.
Yeah, I need to
Engage
go
that.
over this click.
No pain, no gain.
Exactly.
When you're vulnerable, that's when things get interesting. Yeah? So you have to find the vulnerability of not only yourself, but your subject matter, and that's when things start to happen.
Thank you. Sivid.
I spent a lot of time taking cleaner pictures, partly to try and please you guys, and then...
Why would you take cleaner images to please me?
I mean, just in terms of composition.
Well, probably more to please me, I'd imagine.
I'm trying to...
I think the second image is very interesting, but I feel like I've seen a lot of this.
The picture in the middle, I don't really understand what is the smartphone, it's okay, but it's not really a strong picture, it's a pretty. If they tell my picture, it's a pretty picture, I'd rather say, I hate your picture.
It hasn't got the right contenders in. I mean, I think it's a very surreal picture. It makes you look twice and think twice. I welcome that. It's just, in a sense, the two people there are a bit bland.
I think you need to stop thinking about what we want, and you need to start doing what you want to do. We want to see how you see. Your eyes, your brain, everything you're doing is important, and you're not embracing that.
In order for us to make an impression on the judges, we still need to take a risk personally and creatively. So the pressure's definitely on, but that doesn't make it easier to figure out exactly what you need to do in order to face that challenge.
Come well.
I was more amused by the colors, by this underground style, and by even the environment of London.
I think the image in the middle is definitely your strongest of these 3. The first one, it kind of could have been anywhere, really. I mean, it doesn't really give me a sense of place in terms of the fact that you're at London Fashion Week.
But surely, Caroline, you're a photo editor. Isn't the first job of any photographer when they're on assignment to actually fulfill a brief? And to a certain extent, I don't think he has here. So we learn a bit about what's happening on the streets of London, but we're not learning a lot about London Fashion Week and his relationship to it.
It could be any time, it could be anywhere.
Do you have a problem with being addicted to the wide-angle lens?
Yeah, I was thinking about fashion, not more about the details, but more about what the person is wearing.
But sometimes when people repeatedly use the wide angle, your photography becomes as much about the style as it does about the subject. And here, I think, we're slightly being overtaken by the wide-angle look and feel.
To be a photographer, you need to be an author. You have to know what you want to tell, how you want to tell it, why you want to tell it, how it has to look. And you have to choose wide angle, telephoto. I mean, that's the form is at the end. Anybody can take picture. Donkeys can take picture today.
Okay.
Wojciech.
This is it. This is London Fashion Week.
Do you want to talk a bit more about the photos?
I think that you want to judge by photos, so let's judge by photos, maybe.
We have 3 images that feel quite different. With the last image, what bothers me is that space of black, that kind of void of black space. It could have been framed much more differently, and it would have created a stronger shot.
Your timing was just off on that. I would have been more patient for, you're working that background, right, with the young lady against the black wall. I would have been more patient for the right situation, and I don't think that happened in what you were doing.
The last picture, I like the potential there. It has something very unusual about it. You're a good professional photographer, you know your stuff, and in a sense, you haven't stepped out of your comfort zone. The one that indicates you could do that is that last picture, because the scale of it is interesting. It's a confusing picture, and I like that about it.
I've been many times to the London Fashion Week, you know, for work. And I tell you, this for me is not London Fashion Week. I can really see what is your point of view on the Fashion Week here. That's probably what is missing. Nothing is coming out.
The problem is that I don't like photograph things that I'm not connected emotionally. The Fashion Week, this is not my thing.
Gillian.
What I found more interesting was the actual going between the venues, if you like, and focusing on everyday life and the street as a backdrop, really, for London Fashion Week, and that's what I attempted to portray in my images.
Are you happy with them?
I'm never happy with my photos, so I'm the wrong person to ask. I think there's some good qualities to them.
Well, I have to say, I think that you were very lucky with the light. I also think it's good that you have tried to focus just on one aspect. You know, you've looked at footwear rather than trying to go for the whole picture.
The rhythm on the first one with the tennis shoes and the direction of these ordinary tennis shoes into these extraordinary gold tennis shoes that they're like colliding really does work. The composition's quite nice. And then I will agree that this light on the red and the black over here is just beautiful. It's a nice set of pictures. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You know, I actually sense that there's a real author behind here, and we actually are understanding and seeing your view of the Fashion Week. And although it's slightly on the side, that to me comes together. So I like that aspect of it.
But the thing I appreciate the most is the fact that when Caroline asked you, are you pleased with your picture? You said, they could have done better. So that means that you're a very good photographer.
Now the judges have to decide who has been the most successful and who will have to leave the competition.
Many of our photographers went for different viewpoints and perspectives, which I think is interesting.
Olymp, I think that middle image in the red and that person that she photographed just has the most amazing gesture and intensity.
It feels very London. I think her set of 3 images, you look at them, you know exactly where you are.
With Wojciech, I just feel that his compositions are just all over the place. I just always feel like his timing is completely off.
It's a big problem that he doesn't even make mistakes, really. He's mediocre, constantly. I think Gillian is the strongest, personally. The more focused on picture, the best cut.
I think looking at Max's pictures, I was expecting more, to be honest. Whereas I look at Cornwell's and all I can see are the mistakes. All I can see is an overexposed pavement or... I don't agree with you guys. Let's go and tell the contestants.
Sounds good.
Photographers, we finally reached our verdict.
And the work who did impress us the most is your Gillian. I really appreciate what you've done up to here, with up and down, of course, like everybody. But your vision is very personal, and I just wish you could push that even further. Don't be afraid, just go ahead.
During a lot of this competition, I've been tentative, worried, nervous, you know, and I've got to kind of put that behind me. I'm convinced I want to win, to be fair. You know, I really do want to win, and I can win, but I have to deal with a lot of things in myself.
And the second photographer who impressed us the most is our lamp. What struck us with these images was the fact that you chose to look outside of London Fashion Week, and it worked. You focused on the people who live in London, but you tried to make more of a fashion story. But there's also a really good sense of place, so well done.
For this task, I decided to stay in my own style, and it was worth to do this. I will, for sure, for the next task, go closer and go and search deeper in myself, and it's time now.
Unfortunately, not everybody convinced us as much. Wojciech, I feel like you have a lot of really missed moments here, that if you would have worked these images, that you could have come up with a better interpretation outside of Fashion Week London on the sidewalk.
The second series was yours, Conwell. The image in the centre is the one that works the best for you. And I think that perhaps you should have taken this and carried it on in the other images. Instead, we have an image on the left and the right which feel like incidental shots. They're almost like snapshots of a city.
So the photographer that will leave us this week is... Wojciech. Your photos were just moments shy of being better. Really pay attention to your compositions. Be more patient. You have to try to make photographs that aren't what you see in front of you. Something, a personal reaction, and I think really that's what was missing with Fashion Week for us.
I have to say that this was a split decision, and I have to say, Conwell, it was almost you. In terms of the quality of the images that I've seen over the past couple of weeks, they're not good enough. A lot of work has to be done for the next task if you want to stay in the competition. Thank you, Wojciech. Thanks for your contribution to the contest. For everyone else, there's one more task before the final, and it isn't going to get any easier. See you at the next assignment.
I don't regret anything except the last editing. Taking different vision of my photography of what should I do to develop myself more. The vacation is over, and now I need to go earn some money.
Next episode of Master of Photography.
We want to see what makes you, you.
By returning to the house where you live.
Time for the contestants to reveal who they really are. And a tough judgment.
What about your...
The photographer who will have to leave us is...